Welcome to Game Day Memo. I'm your host, the Chuck Fields, and today I'm going to be talking Heisman, your top 3 candidates, who they should be, and I'm going to be talking about what Ryan Clark said Bronny James should be doing. Let's get started. So when it comes to Heisman, I truly believe that the top 3 candidates should be Travis Hunter, Ashton Jeanty, and Cam Ward. And my reason behind that is very simple, and I believe many of us would argue the same. Travis Hunter, to me, has played the most spectacular college football that we have ever seen out of any player. And I do believe that in our lifetime, we will never see an individual as talented, as gifted, and that puts as much work ethic behind what he loves each and every day like Travis Hunter. I believe that it is just remarkable that we are living to witness this when it comes to a player like Travis Hunter, playing both sides of the ball and playing it at high levels, higher than many of his peers, including some of his peers that are top 10 for Heisman. I believe that his ability to play snap after snap, play 100 plus snaps per game, and after the game, I'll be honest, it looks like Travis Hunter always still has enough energy to play another game if he had to. And so to me, his ability to be a playmaker, his ability to electrify the audience, the stands, those at home, his ability to cause individuals to gravitate towards football, I truly believe makes him the front runner for a Heisman candidate. Now I know that there's individuals that will argue we can only look at one position at a time. We can't look at both positions. There's individuals that say, well, we look at receiver, there's individuals out there that by far pass him up as receiver. There's individuals say that on the cornerback side, on the defensive side, defensive backs are out there that if we just look at one position, pass him up. Me personally, looking at the numbers, I know you have your Ryan Williams on the receiver side. I know you have your Restrepo's on the receiver side. But I would argue that when we think about Heisman, and when we've thought about it in the past, we've looked at the individual that has the highest regards for the game. The individual that has played the best at the college level. And by far and large, that is truly Travis Hunter. Now, when it comes to Ashton Jeanty is a great player, a phenomenal player. And it is rare that you see an Ashton Jeanty that has done what Ashton Jeanty has done. And I do believe that by the time this season is over with, Ashton Jeanty will have several records, not just at Boise, but in college football in general. And Ashton Jeanty is definitely someone we're going to see play just like Travis Hunter, just like Cam Ward on Sundays. Nevertheless, if you took Travis Hunter out of the equation, I think it will be a very tough toss-up between Cam Ward and Ashton Jeanty. And I even believe that Shedeur Sanders will be back in the conversation, which, personally, I don't see why Shedeur Sanders is not in the conversation. And no, I'm not saying that Shedeur Sanders is the top 3 on my list. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is when you put Dillon Gabrielle on the list and you look at his stats and you look at Shedeur Sanders' stats, his accuracy, his pass rate, you look at Shedeur Sanders' ability to escape the pocket, to be elusive from the backfield, and you compare that to Dillon Gabrielle, and then we go back to previous years when quarterbacks that were elusive, accurate, similar to that of Shedeur Sanders. We can look at Caleb Williams. We can look at individuals like Johnny Manziel. And when we put those two individuals up against Shadua Sanders and Dylan Gabriel, it's an easy pick for Shadua Sanders to be in the conversation for Heisman far before Dylan Gabriel. Now, I know that Oregon has went this season undefeated, and Dylan Gabriel, again, he belongs playing in the NFL. He's an NFL caliber player, I believe. However, I do not believe that when we look at paper, when we look at him on paper, when we look at him in comparison to Shadua Sanders, that Dylan Gabriel compares. Not when we're talking about the Heisman Trophy. But it seems this season, Dylan Gabriel has been in the conversation for Heisman far more than Shadua Sanders. When it comes to Cam Ward has had multiple Heisman candidate games this season. When we look at his ability to come back and play with poise from the pocket, continue to push his team, lead his team, be accurate, audible out, read the defense, the things that he's done on the field that we can see, and those things that translate to paper, makes Cam Ward a strong argument if we just have to choose quarterback. Because you have individuals, you have analysts, you have individuals that will vote for this Heisman. They are in charge of voting for who wins the Heisman. And they have stated in the past, or they believe, or individuals close to them have stated that they believe that the Heisman candidate must be a quarterback. You also have individuals that believe that the Heisman candidate must be someone that's a skilled player on offense, a receiver, running back, fullback, quarterback. They do not believe that a defensive player should or even can be a Heisman candidate for whatever reason. That's another argument that takes Travis Hunter, cornerback position, defensive back position, off the board and out of play when it comes to the Heisman candidate. Now, I disagree. I believe that you have several defensive players that should be going to New York. Not just this year, last year, several years in the past. However, I'm not in charge of voting, obviously. And the criteria for Heisman, specifically in the last 2 years, specifically since Colorado, Shadua Sanders, have been at the top of everyone's conversation. The level of commitment to discussing what the criteria for Heisman is, beyond us having to go to Google and see what is the criteria, beyond us having to go to Reddit and understand what is the criteria, beyond us having to see individuals complain that they're not on the list and asking the reason why. It seems that the criteria has drastically changed. And that is something that I wish right now, even though they may have posted different things on their Twitter feed, X, on their Instagram, there is still some unclear understanding from fans, including myself, what makes a Heisman candidate a Heisman candidate. Now, when it comes to gameplay, when it comes to just getting out there, your Reggie Bushes, individuals in the past that have won, like I said, your Johnny Manziels, your Caleb Williams, individuals that have won in the past, we get it. These are electrifying players. These are players that we want to see on Sunday. These are players that we don't want their career to stop in college by far and large. These are players that are great, gifted, and talented. So we totally understand what that means when we're talking Heisman candidacy. But when we're talking the front runner, the individual that earns that reward, the individual that gets that trophy when they get to New York in December, every December, we still don't know exactly what the criteria is. There's been too many times in the history of the Heisman that we have seen individuals that we believe should have been in New York. And once they make it to New York, we are left to decide between a few candidates. The individuals that some of us sometimes believe should have made it to New York don't actually make it to New York. And so when you're left with just a few candidates and the actual true Heisman, according to fans, may be sitting at home, it takes the interest from fans out, and it basically leaves the athletes, the coaches, and all of the analysts that actually decides and chooses who wins, who votes on who wins. It just leaves the interest with them. And so in this case, when we're looking at Travis Hunter, the interest from fans about who wins the Heisman this season has been brought back on a scale that we haven't seen in years. Of course, Caleb Williams had a lot of that behind him. I think probably since all the way back to Johnny Manziel and before then Reggie Bush, we haven't seen this much emphasis brought by fans caring to this degree who wins the Heisman. And so to me, I believe that most of that has been brought by two different things. I think part of it is the love for Travis Hunter. I think another part of that is just the love for the game of football. And so we see individuals like Ashton Genty just, putting out numbers, just remarkable runs. We see Travis Hunter just putting out excellent play, game after game, play after play, day after day, and just great personalities. Great leader in Cam Ward. Great ability to translate that to his teammates, and his teammates just crave about it. And so I truly believe that when you have personalities like what we have out of the conversation for Heisman, and when you have individuals that are truly perceived to be the very best by fans, then it brings the fans back into the fold. And most fans, including myself, I would like to know what makes a Heisman candidate a Heisman candidate. What is the criteria? A lot of this is kept secret, and I understand why. A lot of who's voting is kept secret. I totally get it. We don't want any outside betting going on, any gambling going on, where someone may know or may understand who's going to win and exactly why they're going to win ahead of time. And now you have $100 million in Vegas put on Travis Hunter or Ashton Genty or Cam Ward. I totally get it. We also want fairness. We want equality. We want that to happen when it comes to Heisman candidates. So I totally understand why there is some secrecy. However, when it comes to the criteria, just what a player needs to know, it's going to take just what fans, what parents, what friends of the athletes need to know what it's going to take. We should know a little bit more. There should be a number system given out. There should be a process given out. There should be more than what we can Google and find out that may not even be true from what we are hearing a lot of times or from what we're seeing because of some names that's put down on paper for Heisman candidates. So, with that being said, I wish Ashton Genty, Travis Hunter, Cam Ward, I wish all of them well. Cam Ward has had an amazing year at the University of Miami. He has single-handedly came in and put a demand down from a quarterback role that hasn't been in place for many years. And that has transitioned Miami to a total different program. And Cam Ward was someone that did not start off at a D1 school. Had to fight his way and climb his way to the top of where he's at now. So there's a story there, and we love stories. Travis Hunter, the same. Went to JSU. Did something that many said he ruined his career. He ruined his chances at the next level. He ruined his ability to showcase his true talent. And now, look at him. He made a great decision. He has changed college football forever. He has changed college football for Colorado. He has changed the way we think about players playing two ways. Whether we ever see that in our lifetime or not, we must be thankful that we've had the opportunity to witness a Travis Hunter. I am so thankful that I've had the opportunity to witness a Travis Hunter. I am so thankful. I may never get the opportunity to see a player that great, that talented, that gifted ever again, especially one that can play both sides of the ball, especially one that can play over 100 snaps per game, every single game. And at the end of the game, it looks as if he can still put in for a whole nother game. That is amazing. That is electrifying. When it comes to Ashton Genty having a player that started the season, he had more yards than over half of the running backs had. Even now, later on in the season, Ashton Genty, his yards halfway through the season was equal to as many yards as over half of D1 running backs. He's about to hit 2,000 yards this season. And I don't think many individuals doubt that he'll hit 2,000 yards. I don't think many will doubt that he'll hit 2,000 yards. Now, there is a lot of controversy. There's a ton of controversies going on around Travis Hunter receiving the Heisman. Coach Sanders said at one point he believed that Travis Hunter should possibly receive every one of the awards if it is based off of pure talent, if it is based off of how great of a season he had this season. And so we've seen a lot of red tape being drawn out this season, whether it be because Travis Hunter plays for Deion Sanders, the often admired and hated Deion Sanders. If it's because he's at Colorado, and Colorado may not have the name that Alabama has or USC has. Nevertheless, Travis Hunter, whether he played right now at JSU or whether he played right now at Colorado, I believe that Deion Sanders' ability to be a leader to these young men is transitioning them for something greater than college, for something greater than just the Heisman. But I do believe in Travis Hunter. He has transitioned that young man to being something more remarkable. And let me be clear, Travis Hunter's talent and his gift is why he's able to play and excite us and electrify the audience and be such a spectacular athlete. Nevertheless, if Travis Hunter did not play at Colorado or JSU for Coach Prime, I do not believe we would ever say this. I believe that Travis Hunter, from what I've seen on the sidelines, and this is what tells me that Colorado has these coaches, coordinators, Colorado has the right coaches, coordinators at Colorado. If you put the amount of chaos in the locker room, the players and athletes, the selfishness that is not getting an opportunity because Travis Hunter is in their position on offense or in the opportunity because that is going to come out. Is in their position on offense or in their position on defense, or why is he playing both sides of the ball? Is in their position on offense or in their position on defense, or why is he playing both sides of the ball? That is going to come out. Is in their position on offense or in their position on defense, or why is he playing both sides of the ball? That is going to come out. Is in their position on offense or in their position on defense, or why is he playing both sides of the ball? That is going to come out. Is in their position on offense or in their position on defense, or why is he playing both sides of the ball? That is going to come out. Offense or in their position on defense, or why is he playing both sides of the ball? That is going to come out. That is going to show itself. That is going to show his ugly face. So, what I would like to say is this. Travis Hunter opportunity to play at the level that he's playing on both sides of the ball, I believe could only be possible under Deion Sanders. I do not believe there are many coaches willing to take on that challenge, that responsibility, make that call, help an athlete make that transition. Not that Travis Hunter needed a lot of work, but a coach that believes in the athlete and an athlete that truly believes in that coach, truly believes in that coach from day one. The trust is built before the athlete ever put on the uniform for that school, for that university, for that college. I believe that it takes a Deion Sanders, a Coach Prime, to bring that forth. And I do not believe that there are any other coaches currently, right now, in college that could bring forth that so that we can witness. I'm not saying coaches are not transitioning guys to be better individuals, better athletes, better at their position, better at school, better at education. I'm not saying that the other coaches aren't great because they're not able or weren't able to do it. But there is a reason why Travis Hunter believed in Coach Prime at JSU while everybody was telling him he's making the wrong decision. Everybody was telling Travis Hunter he was making a decision that was going to end his career, that was going to end his ability to get a great education. And Travis Hunter had a great education while he was at JSU. Travis Hunter was a great individual, a great athlete while at JSU. And he was able to transition that to Colorado. That's big, that's huge. And enough credit is not given to Coach Prime. Enough credit is not given to Travis Hunter, his family, his friends, his support system. Enough credit has not been given. And so beyond the Heisman itself, Travis Hunter deserves to be in every conversation for any award possible that he could possibly get for playing receiver and cornerback. And so this December, if I had it my way, Travis Hunter, Cam Ward, and Ashton Genty would have their tickets stamped already to go to New York. And that is my top three, and that is my reason why, folks. So what's next? Well. Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark woke up. He woke up this week and decided that he was going to share with us on the Pivot podcast that he forgot overnight how the world works. That he forgot overnight what it means to be a billionaire son. Ryan Clark came on the Pivot podcast and said that he believes Bronny James should be flying commercial. Should be flying commercial with his team. He went as far as to say that if he was Bronny James, that he would be begging his team's front office and his coaching staff to let him fly commercial with his team. Furthermore, Ryan Clark told us on the pivot, that he was never the best player in high school or any team he ever played for, but he always was there with his team. He was always there riding with his team. Now, Ryan Clark, you may have forgot that you are on planet Earth. You may have forgot after 4.5 decades on Earth how life works here on Earth. You may have forgot how the world works. So let me remind you. And I need someone out there to say, take your time, like we tell the choir on Sundays. Take your time, Chuck Fields, take your time. Ryan Clark, I am disappointed in you. I am disappointed in you for not having all the facts, for not having the compassion, the understanding, for not having the compassion and understanding. Not for the James family, not for Bronny James and his family, even though I feel that you should definitely have all the facts. But for the common folk, the regular folk like myself, I am not a conspiracy theorist. I do not sit here and talk conspiracies. And I will not go down the rabbit hole with you. But I do fly commercial. I do currently fly commercial And over 90% of flights that I've ever been on have been commercial. So I will tell you this. There's been a lot of discussion in the last few years about glitches in the metrics. And if I ever see Bronny James attempting to get on one of the commercial flights that I am getting on, I am going to believe that there has been a glitch in the metrics. In fact, I will tell any of my friends and family that if an individual at the level of Bronny James, the Bronny James, son of the LeBron James, King James, put 20 years plus in the NBA, James, made it from humble beginnings, poor times, single mother, out of Ohio, went from high school to the NBA, no college necessary or needed, King James. His son, getting on the same flight, same commercial flight as me, same commercial flight with my family members, same commercial flight with my friends. I would tell them, don't get on. If you know he's getting on your flight, don't get on. Don't. Do not get on that flight. Now, Ryan Clark, let me explain. Let me explain. Bronny James is a prince. Is a prince in our community. Now I don't know what side of the tracks you came up on, and I'm not going to even go there. But when it comes to Bronny James, he is a prince, and there are certain privileges that when you're a prince and you have a true throne that you will one day sit up on, and your father, your family, is worth $1 billion. And on paper, we can see that in the next 5 to 10 years, LeBron James could possibly be worth 10 to 15 billion dollars. Then why would he get on a commercial flight? We don't have to look into some of the things that's being thrown around now because of what you started. We don't have to look at his health. We don't have to look at how much money his father has, the disrespect to his team. We don't have to look at security, even though we should. We can just look at the fact, when your father's worth $1 billion, what business do you belong on a flight with me? See, this is what you forgot about, Ryan Clark. When your father's worth $1 billion, LeBron James, and he's had the background and success he's had, and the amount of haters that have came out of the woodworks over the last 2 decades plus when it comes to LeBron James. We can even go back to when he left Cleveland for Miami, and some of the things that were said, some of the things that our top agencies in our government had to investigate and find out that some of them could potentially be real threats. You don't put your son, your flesh and blood, your lover, on a commercial flight unless you have to. Let's start there. Secondly, you forgot the disruption that Bronny James getting on a commercial flight can cause. So you mean to tell me you want me to have to take out my laptop, get my things thrown around, get things thrown in the trash before I go through TSA? Because TSA has been alerted that Bronny James is getting on my flight. You want me to have to take my shoes off, not once, maybe twice, 3 times, 4 times. You want the German Shepherd to be sniffing and drooling all over my luggage while I'm sitting down waiting to board my flight at the terminal because Bronny James is getting on my flight. You want individuals that isn't even getting on my flight, isn't even getting on my commercial flight, to sit around in the terminal and cause me to have to stand up because they want to take pictures and sit and look at Bronny James and his security team. You want Bronny James to be standing in the open at my terminal with his security team, causing possible panic because we may not be able to see who he is. We just see this security team dressed in all black. You want there to be that type of panic on a commercial flight. You want it to be that type of panic on a commercial flight. Now, I know that these commercial flights with athletes typically are just the athletes getting on a commercial flight. I get it. But they are flying out of international airports such as DFW, LAX, Baltimore, JFK. They are flying out of the same commercial airlines. And the individuals that they have to come in contact with is the unknown. And when you're dealing with the unknown, you try to make sure that you can create as many known factors as possible to create safety and security for your loved ones. And when you are a billionaire, you are always the target of something fugazi. You are always the target of some type of foolishness. You are always the target of some type of threat, whether it be an economic, financial threat, whether it be someone wanting to cause additional bodily harm to you. You are always the target of the threat. And here's the problem with this world that we live in. When people can't get to you, when they can't get to you because you have a gated community or a gated mansion on top of the hill with security, when they can't get to you because you fly private, because you have a security detail team, when they can't get to you because of that, they will definitely target your loved ones. And so we will be very devastated that one of the best, if not the best, basketball player of all times, and we just went through a devastation in 2020, a sad reality that some of us, including myself, have not gotten over to this day. We just went through that type of tragedy where we seen a rising star in the black community headed toward that $1 billion taken away from us. We just seen that. We just lived that. And for a lot of us, it's unreal. For a lot of us, we haven't stopped crying about it, including myself. For a lot of us, we are still hurt and impacted by it. We grew up watching Kobe Bryant. We grew up watching it. And then to know that Gigi tragically lost her life as well. We are hurt by it. We are hurt by it. We don't need anything near that. We don't need any possibility of anything near that to happen ever again. We didn't need that, of course. That would be one of the worst things that could ever happen. And what we did lose already is one of the worst things that has ever happened. Now, I know that LeBron James and his family, the James family, is going to continue to ignore you haters. It's going to continue to ignore you, Ryan Clark. And they're going to continue to be about their business and continue building their empire. But I want to leave you with this, Ryan Clark. In the recent years, Prince Harry moved to Los Angeles area and rented a mansion from another one of our billionaires in our community, Mr. Tyler Perry. And Ryan Clark, I don't remember you or anyone saying to Prince Harry, "Hey, Prince Harry, you should go back across the pond. Your brothers are over there playing polo, and you left them high and dry. Go back across the pond. Go back across the pond and be with your people. You know, why are you over here in Los Angeles? Why are you in Los Angeles? Why are you flying private to Los Angeles? Go back and be with your people." No one said that. But now, LeBron James his son. We cannot recognize Bronny as a prince. Let's be clear. Bronny is a prince of a king established by his father. A throne has been established. A throne has been established. Whether you like it or not, a throne has been established. One that we should respect. Specifically, if you're from the side of the tracks that I'm from. If you're from the side of the tracks that LeBron James is from. Ryan Clark. That should be respected. And there are some topics that should be left unsaid. There are certain things that should not be discussed about LeBron James' son, about anyone's children. And this, I believe, is a situation and circumstance, Ryan Clark, where you got out of your lane. You should stay in your lane. You should stay in your lane. The mistakes, such as this one, should be left for individuals like me. I should be making that type of mistake, but I even know better than to make that type of mistake. I even know better to investigate and to get my facts straight. I even know better than to let someone tell me that that's going to draw me the attention I need to get my ratings up, to get my views up. I even know better than to discuss that on my platform. Ryan Clark, I truly believe you knew better. And I truly believe you should do better. And I truly believe Ryan Clark and the pivot, the entire team moving forward should really discuss what's right and appropriate to speak about. We should be talking about Bronny James on the court, his off-court affairs, as long as they are not devious and mischievous. We should not be discussing him riding and flying private jet or not flying commercial with his team. It's probably not a discussion worth us having right now. Specifically not on any podcast platform. Now, Ryan Clark, you can do what you choose to do. But I'm going to tell you, there's individuals like me that's going to continue calling you out. Because we need you to keep that same energy when it comes to individuals like Prince Harry. We need you to keep that same energy across the board. Because when on planet Earth, and you've been here for 45 years, 4.5 decades, when on planet Earth, when did billionaire and billionaire kids start riding commercial? When did billionaires and billionaire kids, when have they flown commercial? When have they openly flown commercial? Now, we know very well who Bronny James is and what he looks like. The type of disruption that could cause. I'm pretty sure that there are agencies in the United States and our government that would potentially even call the James family, call LeBron's team, and tell them, do not. We suggest highly. We do not favor Bronny James flying commercial. But here you go, opening your big mouth. Ryan Clark, I ask you, what's next? Bronny James should pull up in a Toyota Corolla to practice? What's next? Bronny James should be staying at the Hampton Inn in a rough part of every city he goes? What's next, Ryan Clark? How much hate are you going to spew about Bronny James? How much hate do you have in your heart instead of pulling and picking out the positive things that you could pull from this situation, from this circumstance about Bronny James? How positive of a moment this is for Bronny James. What's next, Ryan Clark? What's next? That's it for episode 2 of Game Day Memo. Thank you for joining. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much.